What up, bros? This is the All Bros Podcast. I am Jonathan.
Nah, I'm Caleb.
And we are a couple of aspiring filmmakers that love to watch and critique movies, but also enjoy a bit of the nerd life. This week on the podcast, we'll be talking about, we're skipping Adventures in Hunting and Through the Wall, just because our main event is probably going to take quite some time.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah. And then we got some sneak peeks for this week. We got our first trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, got some words for that. And then we also got our second trailer for Men in Black International. And then after that, we'll move on to our main event of the evening, which will be our All Bros breakdown of Avengers Endgame. And Caleb just ripped the head off of Hulk.
I didn't rip the head. It was like that. Like I was just shaking it and...
Damn.
Oh, I'm going to kill that cat. I'm going to kill that cat.
Okay, no, you're not. Caleb, you're not going to kill your cat.
Yes, I will.
I will be...
She bumped the head off of my my Hulk stress ball that I use when I need to get the stress out about her. Oh.
Just breathe. Breathe. Just breathe. It's just a toy. You can buy another one.
Not just... No, I can't. This was in the Hulk Collector Core box.
Well, shit. eBay?
Oh, I'm going to murder
No,
that
you're
cat.
not
Dude,
gonna...
this is the... Like I just said, this is the stress ball that I use when my cat's being a little asshole. And she ruined it because she knew this was the only thing that brought me joy. Oh, shit.
I really hope Brielle comes home soon, so that this doesn't happen. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? So, before Caleb hulks out, literally. Yeah.
I'm posting a picture of this because this is unacceptable.
It's a cat, dude. What did you expect? Cats will do that.
That's bullshit.
No.
That is a bullshit excuse that you and Brielle use. Oh, that's just what cats do. It's annoying.
Dude, why do you think I have to keep all my valuable stuff off the, literally up off the ground? Alexander's knocked down a pop box or two.
Oh,
he knocked down Chucky, and I was a little mad at him. I was like, I'm okay. It's just Chucky.
Yeah. Well, imagine that, but with something that you don't care for, knocking it over. Your argument is invalid. Yeah, you actually like Alexander, so you can let things slide a little bit. I hate ravens.
See, I thought you were referring to not caring about my pops. I'm just like, I hope you know I was being sarcastic. Like I want to be buried with those things. But okay, now okay, now I get it. Yeah, I love my cat to death.
Yeah, Raven's a little bitch.
Oh, that's great. All right. What do you say we get started?
Let's do it.
All right, so since we're not doing Adventures in Hunting or Through the Wall, we're jumping right to this week's sneak peeks, and we're starting with Sonic the Hedgehog. It's Super Mario Brothers all over again.
It is. It is very much Super Mario Brothers all over again. The design... Whoever thought that was a good design for Sonic made some terrible mistakes.
Yeah, they really did. I get what they're trying to do, that they're trying to make him look more realistic, but it just ain't working.
It's not, and it's a bummer because they're individual parts of this movie and this trailer even are good. But as a whole, they don't work.
Yeah.
Ben Schwartz voicing Sonic,
yeah, that's
great.
A good choice. Yeah.
James Marsden, can you scream hop too? Why does Sonic need a human sidekick? He doesn't.
Wait, did you see that picture that I guess the Nostalgia Critic put? I think that he's the one that did that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm hoping that that's where you got it from, because if you just came up with that on your own, you're a genius, man.
No, I saw someone. So I saw a picture on Twitter with like the Sonic,
Yeah.
and someone posted a picture of James Marsden in the car with Hop right next to the picture of him in the car with Sonic,
Oh.
but they cropped it in a way so it was James Marsden and Hop and then Sonic. And
Oh,
then
that's-
that way when you switch back and forth, it like switched where it was James Marsden and Sonic with Hop, and then James Marsden and Hop with Sonic.
That's
And it was like
amazing.
exactly the same.
Okay, that's
Sonic
pretty
doesn't need a human sidekick.
No,
he
he
needs
doesn't.
Tails.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's it.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow and Amy better show up at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So, yeah, like I said, Ben Schwartz, good. James Marsden, basically Hop 2.
He did have a funny joke in the trailer.
James Marsden?
Yeah, the whole like kid in the bag thing. He's like, "Oh, he's
Oh.
not my kid." That was funny.
Yeah, like that was freaking hilarious. Jim Carrey as Robotnik, pretty good.
It's not really the character. He's
Not the one that we know
Yeah.
until like the very end shot.
that's
with the
true.
funky mustache and everything.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was cool.
Oh yeah, no, he looks really good, but yeah, like the way he's acting, I'm like, no, that's not like Dr. Eggman or Dr. Robotnik. I call him Dr. Eggman.
I do too, but I switch.
Yeah,
Like I'll say Robotnik, and then every once in a while I'll say Eggman, and
yeah,
just kind of real confusing. But I'm talking about the same person.
yeah. But what's funny about this trailer, I want to say it was today that Paramount and the director, I think, came out and said that because of all the hate that this trailer's gotten, especially for the look of Sonic, they're actually going to be changing the design of Sonic for the final movie.
Yeah, they're gonna make it look even more like Hop.
Yeah, exactly. But at least to hopefully look more like Sonic.
Yeah. Honestly, they could just cut out James Marsden, dude.
They could.
Like Sonic, like I said, Sonic doesn't need a sidekick. Why? Why?
Or can we
Like,
just,
what's the purpose?
let's just take all the voices and turn this into an animated Sonic movie.
Yeah, that would be freaking sweet. And you can still keep Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah, no. Keep Jim Carrey, keep Ben Schwartz. They do great as Dr. Eggman and Sonic.
Yeah, if this was like a CGI movie,
Yeah.
that'd be fantastic.
But no, it had to be live action.
Yeah, because
Because let's face
just
it,
because Detective Pikachu worked doesn't mean Sonic's going to work.
I'm still amazed at how well Detective Pikachu works.
It works so well.
Like, damn. Those designs look amazing.
Yeah. I am going to this movie for visuals alone.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to care about the story. But if the story's bad, but the visuals are good, I think I can let it slide. I just, like, in the middle of it, I'm going to be like, okay, you need to shut your brain off, dude.
I'd say I'm going for the visuals and Ryan Reynolds. Those are the two biggest things. Because, I mean, Ryan Reynolds has been in some bad movies, but he's usually the most enjoyable part of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the case with, like, a lot of movies.
Like, R.I.P.D., it's a bad movie, but I still enjoy it because I love Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds' chemistry in that movie.
Yeah. They need to be in a good movie together.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, he was one of the better parts of it. I mean, he was kind of watered down a bit.
Yeah, which sucks.
Yeah.
And then let's not talk about X-Men Origins.
Yeah, let's not. Even though the opening sequence with him was pretty badass.
Yes, that was really good.
Like, even though, like, the hyper motions shit isn't one of Deadpool's powers.
Yeah, but so it showed that Ryan Reynolds can really play Wade Wilson if you actually make him Wade Wilson.
Mm-hmm. I see this being the issue with Sonic. I think Ben Schwartz, because I love Ben Schwartz.
Oh yeah, he's a great actor and a voice actor.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one of the highlights of this movie.
Yeah.
James Marsden, I think, needs a better agent.
I can't even remember the last time I saw James Marsden in a movie.
I can.
Wow.
I think it was. What is it? X-Men. It was one of the X-Men movie, or whichever one. Was it Days of Futures Past?
Yeah, I think it was Days of Future Past.
Yeah, that's the last time I remember seeing him.
Yeah, still, damn, that's been a while.
Yeah. I have a lot better movies that he could be in. Because he's not a bad actor.
No,
What the
not.
hell?
Like, have you seen the remake of Hairspray that came out in 2007?
No.
Okay, he's amazing as Corny Collins. Like, he's one of the best parts of the movies. Movie, not movies. Movie. But yeah, no, he's a good actor. He just needs some better work.
Dude, could you imagine if we're not even the first people to make the Hop 2 joke? Where if he's reading the script and they're like, we're keeping this hush hush. And then he reads it and he's like, if this is freaking Hop 2. And they're like, no, it's not. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. Same thing. The effects look really cool. That was one of the other things that stood out with this. That one of the good aspects of this, and the sound effects. I love that they were using the sound effects from the video game.
Yes, that was cool. I wish they would have picked a different song when it came to like when he started like running and everything. That was kind of a weird choice.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Supersonic Racing? Should have chosen that.
Or anything else.
Yeah. Any song that has to do with running or going fast, there you go. That's not
hell.
bad
Even
song.
if this wasn't a Christmas movie, Run Run Rudolph.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there are so many like individual aspects to this that are good, but they don't add up to be something fantastic.
Okay, this is going off tangent, but this is like really stupid. But whenever I have like a faraway class from where I'm starting, and I only have so long to get there, I play Run Run Rudolph on my phone.
You are ridiculous.
No, I'm not, dude. Dude, it gets you pumped. Like I feel like I go a lot faster. Sorry, dude.
You probably don't.
I know, but in my heart, I feel like I do. So don't take this away from me.
Okay. Overall, not super high hopes. Until we see a redesign.
Yeah.
Until we see a redesign.
Until we see a redesign, my hopes are down here. They're pretty low.
You got to dig a little bit of hole to get to your hopes.
Yep. Exactly.
Fair enough. Dude, I think I'm more excited for Dora the Explorer than I am Sonic the Hedgehog. And the only reason I'm excited for Dora is because Danny Trejo's voicing Boots.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on there. Don't forget about Benicio del Toro voicing Fox.
Oh my gosh.
Or Swiper, not Fox. I'm sorry, Swiper the Fox.
That's going to be freaking great.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'll see that movie. For those
so
two.
my hopes for that are like ground level.
Yeah.
My hopes for Sonic are buried a little bit.
Dora's like barely above ground, like barely. And then Sonic's like still in the grave.
Yep. But worry not, because we got an even better trailer.
Yeah, sorry, that was awful. I'm sorry.
You're the one doing this whole thing, Rose.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay, so our next trailer that we're doing is Men in Black International trailer number 2, which I can't decide if I like the first trailer better or this one better. I did like that it explained Tessa Thompson's character a lot more, how her parents' mind was wiped when she was a kid, but hers wasn't, and she was trying to find them for what was it, like
20 years?
Yeah, 20 years. And so she finally found him, and then she's like, come on, I deserve to be part of the Men in Black. Like, come on.
Yeah, I really liked the story explanation a little bit. I was already excited for this, so it didn't really bump me up on excitement level. It was just kind of a plateau, kind of a flat line.
Okay.
Not a flat line. That sounds like I was just like, nah. More of a, I don't know, like the peak and then it just kind of plateaued from there.
All right.
So, didn't really bump my excitement, but it didn't either bump it down either.
No, me neither. I feel the best part of this movie is definitely going to be Tessa Thompson's and Chris Hemsworth's chemistry.
Yeah, for
Most
sure.
definitely.
And if not, I feel like Kumail Nanjiani's little alien dude.
Yeah, that's going to be... I think the best joke in this trailer for me is when I believe Tessa Thompson's like, I'll drive. And Chris Hemsworth gets in on the right-hand side and she gets on the left. She's like, steering wheel's supposed to be over here. What the hell? That was pretty funny. That got a good laugh out of me.
That's pretty great.
Well, didn't like Kunal... Oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher his name. Sorry, what was his name again?
Kumail.
Wasn't it his character that like swore like his oath and whatever to Tessa? And she's like, oh, no. He's like, well, you should have told me that before I did. It was something like that.
Yeah, he's like, is this a queen? And he started swearing an oath, and she's like, oh, I'm not a queen. And he's like, well, you should have told me that before I swore my oath.
Yeah, that's what it is. Thank you. But I love the original 3 Men in Blacks. They're it's one of my favorite trilogies. So I have hopes for this one.
Yeah. I thought that this movie was going to just kind of erase the others.
I'm glad
like
it's
a reboot,
not.
and it's not. It's
I'm
so
really
great.
glad it's not.
Yeah, I love that this is just kind of a continuation, and they could honestly do this forever.
They really could.
Like, all they'd have to do in the future is just kind of either Liam Neeson or Emma Thompson has to pass the torch on to someone to lead the Men in Black, and then that person could just be the head of the Men in Black for however long.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, that would be great. Could you imagine just Men in Black going on forever?
Can we get Paul Rudd and Jeremy Renner to be the next
Yes!
Men in Black?
Just Jeremy Renner would be badass, but throw in Paul Rudd, that's a good time.
Yeah, right? I just want those two in a movie together. I'm not going to bring that up yet. I'll wait till the main event. But
yeah, no spoilers until the main event, Rose.
I'm sorry, but I want them in a movie together so bad. Just where they're just going off of each other. Just comedy after comedy. I want it.
Yeah, because we've seen Jeremy Renner do comedy in Tag, and he did really good.
He's really good with comedy. And, of course, Paul Rudd's amazing when it comes to comedy.
Dude, Paul Rudd doesn't consider himself an actor. Every time he's like in a more serious film, he's like, oh, I'm not an actor. I'm just faking it. That's what actors do.
Yeah, exactly.
And you do amazing at it.
Yeah, he really does.
Like, there's not a single thing that Paul Rudd is in that I don't like. Like, can you think of anything?
No.
Yeah, because I love him in Clueless. 40-year-old virgin, he's freaking hilarious.
I've never seen that movie.
Our Idiot Brother, he's
Never
freaking
seen
funny.
Anchorman?
Anchorman, he's freaking hilarious. He's in a whole lot more. I've seen like most of his movies.
Can you name a TV show that he...
Friends.
Okay, damn it, never mind.
Please, Rose.
I wanted to see if I could stump you on that.
Can't stump me.
Who did he date and eventually marry?
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
I just know he was in the show.
Come on, man.
You can't fail me on
trivia. But there's only three main characters
Phoebe?
that are girl. Yeah, you got it. Damn it.
Oh, that's good.
Bravo.
Yeah, you can't... Oh, speaking of which, our fail count, we reset and Rose lost last month.
Damn it.
By 1.
I gotta get better at failing you.
Yeah, you do.
I suck.
Dude, like, you need to be a little bit more ruthless.
Yeah.
Because I'll freaking tear you down for, like, really basic shit.
I know you will. You don't have a heart. I do.
No, that's the point of this. It's supposed to make us better at remembering shit.
Yeah, I know.
So whenever I mess up something, you freaking fail me for that.
Aye, sir.
It's not going to hurt my feelings.
Is it, though?
Pretty sure it won't. We'll see.
All right.
Once you actually start getting ruthless with me.
I got a message that night. Rose, what have you done?
So I don't think it's going to be that hard to figure out which one we're more excited for.
Yeah. All right, should we say it at the exact same time on one?
If you say Sonic the
Damn it.
Hedgehog, I will punch you.
You gotta ruin the good jokes.
It's not a good joke when you see it coming from a mile away.
No, it's still funny.
Not that funny.
Yeah, it is.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Men in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black.
And then kind of way down.
Down in Apocalypseburg. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Ugh.
All right. Shall we move on to our main... Or is there anything else you'd like to say about these two trailers?
Not really, no.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's move on.
Moon on.
Move on to our main event of the evening.
Keel.
Time for the main event. Let's play game.
All right, so with our main event of the evening, we are doing our All Bros breakdown of Avengers Endgame, but before we do that, we actually have some messages from our fellow bros.
Yes.
Our first one comes to us from Twitter, and it is from, I'm sorry, who was it again?
Lisa Shenstead from the Garbage and Gold podcast.
Very nice. What
The
did she
ones
have to
that
say?
voted Hawkeye and Hulk for garbage.
I don't even want to hear it. Just kidding.
Dude,
I'm kidding.
Hulk won. So Hulk was the more garbage.
Really? He was more garbage than Hawkeye?
Yeah, apparently Hulk. So when someone wins, it's so with gold. Obviously, whoever wins gold is the winner, like the top hero.
Yeah.
And then whoever wins garbage is the loser of the two. And people voted for Hulk more than they did freaking Hawkeye.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's bullshit. That's what it is. Gosh.
Hey, this is the only time I'll get to where someone will say that Hawkeye is better than Hulk. So let me live this up a little bit.
Fine, screw you. Anyway, so she wrote in. So our question of the week was, which hero's story did you enjoy following the most throughout this entire saga? And what did you enjoy most about their story? And she said that this will seem so obvious, but she's got to go with Thor. Because of how they shifted the tone of who he is, or as he discovered himself without the chains of duty holding him down. And then she said, I love.
That actually was not obvious. I thought it would have been Iron Man when she said that. That's usually everyone's go-to. Him or Cap.
That's usually the go-to.
Yeah. So actually Thor kind of came out of nowhere for me, but that was a very good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I messaged her a little, afterward and told her that Thor's even though his movies aren't up there with Iron Man and Cap, his arc is up there.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Way the hell up there. And yes, it kind of has to do with him getting his own movie, but you can follow different people's arc.
Yeah.
And I think it rivals Iron Man's.
I think it does too, and I think a huge thank you really needs to go to Taika Waititi for recreating the character of Thor, because the way he is in the MCU right now is nothing like he is in the comics.
Exactly.
He's dead serious. Let's face it.
He's not super dead serious,
but he's not as much of a jokester as he is in the MCU.
Yeah, he's kind of unintentionally funny.
Yeah. So I'm actually fine with the direction that Taika Waititi took, and I really appreciate that he gave new life to Thor, because even Chris Hemsworth, after Age of Ultron, he said that I really didn't see where else the character could go.
Yeah. And I'm glad. So I think that Taika Waititi kind of took him in the direction of, you remember the Avengers Assemble show, right?
Yes.
That route, where he was kind of funny, but he was still kind of that heroic, just big dude and everything. And I love that they took the the funnier route.
That
Like, because
one-
what didn't come out of nowhere. He is funny.
Yeah.
Like, he was funny in Avengers. He had really funny line. Like, he was a little bit more serious in Age of Ultron.
A
But he
little
did
bit, but he
have
still had a
some-
couple quick liners.
Yeah. Thor: The Dark
One-liners.
World, he was pretty funny in.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of rolled that ball down the hill and freaking.
It's like, let's just
Ragnarok.
make his whole personality funny. What do you say?
Yeah. And Chris Hemsworth does an amazing job at portraying a funny Thor.
Chris Hemsworth is such a great actor. And with Ragnarok and Infinity War and now Endgame, I feel he's had a really huge chance to show how good of a, not only an actor he is, but a comedic actor he is.
Exactly. And I think Taika Waititi took it like super far, like the humor.
Yeah.
And then Infinity War just kind of pulled in the reins a little bit.
Yeah.
And
agree.
I think they settled on like a medium or a can't think of the term right now. On a middle ground
Yes.
where it's funny but not like super duper funny, and it's just somewhere right in the middle.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And it works for Chris Hemsworth's abilities really well.
Damn right.
So yeah, good answer there.
Very good answer.
Gave us something to talk about.
Yeah, I think we all know Caleb and I's answers. I mean, if you guys don't know, you should go listen to the beginning when we first started this podcast. We actually say our favorite superheroes, and that kind of just gives it away what our favorite arcs were.
Yeah.
Unless yours
I'm
is
not-
different.
Honestly, it might be different.
Really?
Because
it's not.
I don't like the arc that Hulk took.
Yeah, because
I was kind of digging it through Infinity War, and I thought they were going to take it somewhere, but then they just kind of went in Endgame. Freaking brake checked me.
I mean, but they didn't. It does happen in the comics.
It does, but not immediately.
Yeah.
There's like a process to get to that point.
Yeah, I know.
And I hate Professor Hulk too, so shut up. Anyway, well, we also got a voice message too to answer our question of the week from Victor from the Crash and Taz's Movie Seller podcast, who was supposed to be on this week, but he decided to go to Marvel Trivia Night. So,
The hell, man.
yeah, what the hell? Got to bail on us
I
like
wanted-
that? Not cool.
I wanted to call.
Oh, shit.
Damn, that was loud.
Yeah, that was a lot louder than I was expecting.
I wanted to call him an a-hole, but I'm not going to do that. It's a little too mean.
No, because we probably would have bailed on this for a movie,
Yeah.
for a Marvel Trivia Night too.
Yeah, no. It's too mean. You're good, Vic.
Yeah, you're good.
Hmm.
Anyway, so let's give his message a quick listen to.
All right, all bros. So I know that you guys know, obviously, from having me in the past on your show. I know that you guys know that I am a very huge Spider-Man fan. But I will say, to answer your question, I would say that I really enjoyed watching Iron Man's story and seeing how he progressed. Now, I really liked his movies. And not only that, but seeing his character arc, I mean, is amazing. You see him in his first movie where he is, on top of the world. I mean, he really plays the part of, just this rich playboy that knows he can get anything he wants because he's got money. He's got all the money in the world, basically, and he can do whatever he wants. But then you see him fast forward, to something like Avengers, when he and Captain America meet, and he asks him, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, and he still says those things, that he's billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. He still has a little bit of that mentality, but not quite as much as he did at the beginning of the first Iron Man movie. And then you kind of see him start to change, especially at the end of that first Avengers movie. You see him, he willingly going to try and, nearly sacrifice himself to save New York. And then even, in Civil War, what I love is that even in other movies, Iron Man is still like a part of a lot of the movies throughout this entire saga. And something like Civil War, where it affects all of the all the supers, and he has a completely different mentality now versus the first one. I mean, if you were to put them both together from the first Iron Man to, let's say, Civil War, I mean, if you were to ask me, I'd say there's a night and day difference, and I love that you can see that throughout the films, not just the Iron Man movies, but even the Avengers movies and other films that he's involved in. You see him in Spider-Man: Homecoming, where he is essentially playing the part of teacher and mentor to Peter Parker, and but trying to be just a good, like, he's trying to live up to that role, and I love that. I like that we can see that throughout his entire, I guess you can say, character arc throughout this saga. And then, especially come Endgame, I know that this show is all about spoiler alerts throughout the entire show, but there's a few things that he does that kind of mirror what has happened throughout the entire saga. I mean, you look back again to the first Avengers film, he's willing to sacrifice himself. So this isn't the first time that he's done something like this. He's definitely lived up to the role of protector, of superhero. And I mean, talk about character arc. I think you cannot pick a better character with such great character development throughout this entire saga. If you were to go over it all as a whole, I think his is the greatest. And you can't see it, but I actually shaved so that come opening day when I went to go see Endgame, I actually had my facial hair to look somewhat like Tony Stark's, as my way of trying to include as many Marvel characters as possible in my attire that day. I would say, hands down, Tony Stark, one of my favorites to follow throughout the saga, and loved his story. I loved how he develops throughout the entire saga. Great character development, great writing on the Russo brothers' part. I don't think it gets any better than that, in my opinion. So there you go, guys. Hope that's helpful for you over at All Bros.
Okay.
Damn, that was a really good answer.
That was pretty good.
Just pretty good?
Well, I have a couple notes.
Okay.
I don't think that Tony Stark's, his top of the world arc didn't start until Iron Man 2, when Iron Man kind of started getting a little bit more established.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah, so other than that, pretty solid answer.
Yeah, it's a very solid answer.
I think the first Iron Man focused a lot, or focused solely on just building up who Tony Stark and Iron Man is kind of at heart. And I think that in the first Iron Man, that's probably his biggest change, where he went from the billionaire playboy to superhero because of a crazy traumatic event. Because none of the other superheroes had to go through something as insane as Iron Man did.
No, they really did.
I mean,
not.
Captain America kinda, but he got his powers because he was able to push through some pain. Iron Man was in like a crucible that he had to come out of, and you can kind of see how that would change his entire personality into Iron Man, and then how Iron Man kind of became his own personage, his own ideal. Because I honestly think that you could replace, like, I think Iron Man is like Captain America. The mantle can be passed on.
It can.
Kinda.
I'm trying to remember how many other like people have taken the form of Iron Man.
So no one's ever taken on Iron Man, but there have been like rescue. So Pepper Potts was in the rescue armor. I know that there's a woman that took on like an Iron Man role. She doesn't go by Iron Man though.
Okay, that's who I thought. That's who I was talking about, and I thought she did go by Iron Man, but
no, she doesn't go by Iron Man.
Okay.
Then there's Iron Lad. War Machine, kind of like there's a lot of variations off of Tony Stark's Iron Man.
Yeah.
But whenever people refer to Iron Man, it's typically talking about Tony Stark.
Okay. I don't know. I just don't really want to see anybody else play this role besides Robert Downey Jr.
So obviously, I don't want anyone else to play Tony Stark.
Yeah.
But could you see Iron Man coming back?
I could see someone else taking up the mantle of just the name Iron Man, but there should not be another Tony Stark.
Agreed.
It should not be rebooted.
Yeah, not how they did that.
Yeah.
I feel like obviously we're getting into spoiler territory, so if you have kept listening to this point, this is on you. So spoiler alert. I think that Marvel left. They obviously closed the door for Tony Stark.
Yep.
And they closed the door for Black Widow.
Yes.
I think they left the door open for a possible recasting for Steve Rogers.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Like, it's kind of a soft door,
Yeah.
but it's a door nonetheless.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is just kind of where they're at. Thor, I mean, Chris Hemsworth I still see doing Thor in the future. Mark Ruffalo, I still see doing Hulk. And I hope that they fix what they messed up, but we'll get into that. Dude, I have such controversial feelings. Like, I wanted to freaking rip Mark Ruffalo. I wanted to rip like on Hulk this entire thing, but watching it and seeing what they were going for and knowing what they were going for,
yeah,
his score is a lot higher than
that's
the personal me is wanting to give.
Me and Caleb saw this. His reaction when Widow, Cap, and Ant-Man are at the diner table, and it like comes over to Hulk, but like, you know, like he's talking everything. I want to say you just went, ugh. Didn't you do that?
Dude, I was fuming.
Yeah, he was pissed.
So I went in. So I've seen the movie twice. You've seen it twice?
I've seen it twice as well.
Okay, so the first time I watched it, I went in strictly as a fan.
Yeah.
And I was fuming. I was so freaking mad. Like I could feel my face getting hot. Like I was super upset. And then when he never hulked out, I was even like every time he was on screen, I'm just like, fuck.
I don't know. I think like the main scene that like really pissed you off, it seemed like, was when they like first land in New York. And he's like, Cap's like, and if you have to, maybe smash a couple things on the way there. He's like, oh, all right, whatever. But what does he say? Like,
it seems kind of gratuitous.
Yeah. So he's like,
and I'm like, no, Hulk doesn't use big words like that. Dude, like my favorite scenes were when the Hulk were on screen.
from the Avengers.
Yeah, from the
original
Avengers. When I actually saw him smashing shit, I was like, oh, thank goodness we get some Hulk. God.
The whole hate stares joke, that was funny.
That was pretty great.
Kind of jumping ahead here. Let's
yeah,
go
we're
back.
jumping like way ahead.
Yeah.
But what were we talking? Oh yeah, we were just talking about people that could continue on.
Yes.
Mark Ruffalo could definitely continue on as Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like how they kind of closed the door on Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, I don't think I've heard anyone bring this up. One thing that I think would be really badass
Yeah.
for them to do. You remember the ending funeral scene where we see Harley from Iron Man 3, right?
Yes.
What if he is the one that takes on Iron Man?
Okay, that would be actually pretty cool.
Right?
That would be pretty cool.
That would be so cool. And the only thing that would make that even cooler is if Peter Parker was the one that taught him.
That'd be great.
Full circle. Iron Man teaches Spidey, Spidey teaches Iron Man. And then eventually he teaches Miles. Oh, shit. Dude, I would shit myself. That'd be freaking great. Anyway.
You like left out one of the original 6, man. What the hell?
Oh, Hawkeye?
Yeah. Bitch.
So they left Hawkeye open for
They did.
future
I think
films too, but I think they're going to close that door.
I feel with the Disney Plus series, after he trains Kate Bishop, I'm pretty sure Clint Barton is hanging up his bow.
I feel like I hope it's not like a complete hang up. Like
I hope it's not either.
Jeremy Renner's done.
Yeah.
I hope that they leave the door open for him to do something like the Young Avengers.
Yeah, or even do Old Man Hawkeye.
Old Man Hawkeye would be badass.
Yeah.
That'd be way cool.
So
I haven't read that storyline yet.
I haven't
really
either,
want
but
to.
I would love to see Jeremy Renner take that on.
I mean, we assume if the thing's even good.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But it's Marvel. It probably is.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, Iron Man did have one of... Out of all of the Avengers, I feel the people that got the best arc were like top 4 were definitely Iron Man, Cap, and Thor, because obviously they got their own movies.
Yeah, they're the original Trinity.
Yeah, but I think the other people that got, or the only other one that got a really good arc throughout this entire series was Widow.
I would definitely agree.
Yeah, like I love. Don't get me wrong, I loved Hulk and I loved Hawkeye, but their arc wasn't. It was just because they weren't treated very well. Widow was treated a lot better than Hawkeye and Hulk.
Yes, Hawkeye's in fewer films than Black Widow, but when it comes to like his story, I actually think it was treated very well.
Do you?
I do. Everywhere they took the character in the MCU so far, I don't know if they'll take him anywhere else. I loved it.
Well, that's the thing with Hawkeye. I have a hard time saying that he had a good arc because he was barely in Thor. He was in there for what, a couple minutes?
Yeah, like 3 minutes tops.
Yeah, so he was in Thor for 3 minutes. He was in Avengers mostly as a bad guy.
For 12 minutes. Someone timed it.
Yeah. Mostly as a bad guy, and then he didn't really have like a whole an arc. He was just kind of mind controlled.
Yeah.
And then Age of Ultron is where his story really got
He had the
going.
most to do in that one. I think that's the one that he had the most screen time in too.
Yeah. And Civil War he had a little bit, and that's it. Other than Endgame.
Which I still feel he had a lot to do in this one.
Yeah, but I feel like...
I would agree with you that Black Widow definitely had a better story arc when it comes to, like... I don't know where I'm going with this.
My whole thing is just her story arc, if you compare it to Hawkeye's,
yeah,
was better.
she does get the better story arc, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to admit that Hawkeye gets a better story arc than Hulk in the MCU.
Oh, for sure. I'm not even going to question that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So
the only reason that you could argue that Hulk has a better one is because Hulk has his own movie. And technically that is MCU canon.
Yeah.
But that's not a great movie either.
So in order of like the best like story arcs, it would go Iron Man. To me, it'd go Iron Man, Cap, Thor, Black Widow, then Hawkeye, and then the Hulk.
Yeah, for me, I think Cap got the best. I actually want to give it to Thor for second.
Really?
Yeah, then Iron Man. Like, it's close.
Okay.
Iron Man and Thor are real close. Then I would give it to Widow. Then, sadly, Hawkeye. And then I would give it to Hulk.
Sadly, Hawkeye. Wow.
Well, because I don't want to. I want Hulk to be top. But
I want Hawkeye to be top too.
I'm realistic about MCU Hulk.
Yeah.
I hate MCU Hulk.
And I love MCU Hawkeye.
Yeah, I was cool. Okay, that's not true. I was cool with MCU Hulk up until
Infinity War?
Endgame.
Oh, Endgame.
Yeah, Infinity War. That's it. Gosh. So dumb.
No, he was badass in both the first two Avengers movies.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a huge story arc. He was just kind of there to cause shit.
Yeah, to smash.
Age of Ultron, he had a little bit of a better one, but again, he was just there for chaos' sake.
True.
And I actually mentioned this to Spencer from the Fortress of Nerditude podcast. I feel what they did with Hulk, like making him Professor Hulk,
Yeah.
was because of how chaotic of a character Hulk is. I feel like they're like think about it. In the first Avengers movie, his whole thing is that he's kind of Loki's tool to cause absolute chaos on the helicarrier. And it happens, and he does cause absolute like a shitstorm of stuff. So it's just he's chaotic in that one. The next time we see him in Age of Ultron?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. The next time we see him in Age of Ultron, we see him kind of fighting alongside the Avengers in the beginning and a little bit towards the end. But
Yeah.
also the chaos in
No, it wasn't Sokovia.
I thought it was Wakanda, but I know that's not
No.
right. In Africa.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere in Africa. I can't remember
Yeah,
what exact city.
Yeah. Scarlet Witch uses Hulk to cause absolute chaos in Africa.
Yep.
So that's just kind of like shitstorm. Like he just kind of he's the wrench in the gear. And I think even in Thor Ragnarok, he kind of screwed shit up. Like Thor was going to use the Quinjet to fly away, but Hulk came and broke it. And then he went back to Banner, and then Banner kind of helped fix stuff. And then when they needed someone to actually cause mayhem, Hulk came back.
Mm-hmm.
And then Infinity War, I think that the treatment he got in Infinity War was them being like, we can't handle him right now. He needs to go away. Banner needs to take over. And then in Endgame, they're just like, let's just get rid of him altogether. Like, I don't think they know how to handle the wrench in the gear.
I feel Hulk is a hard character to handle.
I think it takes someone who cares a lot about the Hulk to do him right.
I think the Russo brothers do care.
I
don't know.
I
I
don't feel that. I feel like they care for the MCU as a whole.
Yeah.
But I think they care more about Iron Man, Cap, and Thor a lot more than they care about Hulk.
Yeah, I'd have to give you that one.
Yeah, I think Hulk is just kind of like the bottom of the list. Like, oh, what can we do with him?
Yeah.
And then I think they just kind of saw Professor Hulk as an out. Being like, okay, we can't have someone causing absolute mayhem in this movie. Because this needs to be handled with some finesse.
Yeah.
And Hulk does not do finesse.
No, he does not.
Yeah, so that's my reasoning.
All right.
Like-
that's a good reasoning.
Like, don't get me wrong, I feel the Russos did excellent with all the movies that they made. But Hulk, I did not feel the love for Hulk in this. Like,
I can understand that.
yeah, and Hulk's kind of a hard one to write for. I feel like Taika Waititi could have done a little bit more with him in Thor to kind of set him up a little bit better for Infinity War. But with Infinity War, I feel that was just strictly the Russos being like, we need to get rid of him. So, that's just my thoughts on it.
Damn, you brought some really good points there. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, I'm freaking passionate about the Hulk, dude.
You're not kidding.
You know this. My dream is to make a Hulk movie,
Yep.
and I would rock that movie. Like, no, it wouldn't be like crazy action. Hulk isn't a crazy action. Like, so, bloody hell, this whole thing's just going to be about Hulk.
The hell it is.
This is the
Just
last
kidding.
thing. This is the last thing I'm going to say until we actually start getting into the story.
Okay.
The way Hulk was handled in the 2003
Mm-hmm.
was as just a drama. It was a drama with some action thrown into it, focusing too much on Banner. That it didn't focus. It just was like, oh, this is Banner's story. Banner's story. Oh, someone made him mad. Now he's Hulk. And that it never focused on the struggle between the two. It just focused on Banner being like, oh, we need to kill the Hulk, or we need to get rid of him, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Doesn't work.
No.
And then that last end was like a confusing ass freaking fight scene.
Yeah.
The 2008 was purely action. Them being like, let's figure out how to fix the Hulk, or figure out how to control this, do that with the Hulk. They couldn't do it. Ended up in a crazy fight scene that wasn't super confusing. I thought it was really cool.
It was. Seeing the Hulk fight Abomination was badass.
Yeah. But it didn't focus on the struggle with Banner and Hulk.
No.
And then we got the best part of it was Banner, because he always talks, like the other two Banners always talked about Hulk being just, that's who they would turn into. It just seemed like a Shazam kind of thing. It wasn't two separate people. It was Banner turning into what they called the Hulk.
Yeah.
They weren't two individuals. Mark Ruffalo did that amazing in Avengers where he's like, oh, you want the other guy to eat it with the Tesseract? And he was able to kind of separate the two a little bit. And then they did that pretty well in Age of Ultron, but they did that more like he's just struggling with the Hulk more, not really controlling. Thor Ragnarok, they did it pretty well with the struggle between the two.
Yeah.
Endgame, they just screwed him up. And then Infinity War did a really good job at portraying that they're two separate beings. And it needs to be kind of a drama with, like a psychological drama. It needs to be like not an outward fight. You need to kind of show an inward fight.
Yeah. I would say when it comes to like the Hulk Bruce Banner thing, I would probably say the first Avengers is still my favorite one. With him dealing with when the Hulk is trying to come out, but he's trying to contain it.
Yeah. To date, my favorite Hulk is Lou Ferrigno.
That's fair.
That is, I'm not sure if you've seen the show at all. It's on Hulu.
I've only seen a couple episodes. So
The rewatchability on that is incredible. But yeah, he was the best portrayal of Hulk for me.
doesn't he still do the Hulk's? Well, okay, he didn't do it for Endgame, but didn't he do Hulk's voice still for most of the MCU movies with Hulk in it?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
which I'm
awesome.
so grateful he did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because Mark Ruffalo is good, but he can't do roars worth a shit. And Endgame just showed that.
No, but it's not his fault.
I wonder if he did like the roars for Hulk in like with those extra scenes we got from the Battle of New York.
Yeah.
Because that didn't sound like Ruffalo.
No, it did not.
Anyway, moving on, or getting back on topic into our breakdown of this, we have the movie split up into various different sections. We have story, we have writing, we have acting, character development, music, effects, costumes, and the overall genre grade, which we decided is an action superhero movie. And then at the end, we come to our final grade. So first off, let's just get into the frickin' story.
Yes.
Do
Do you want me to read the synopsis?
yes.
Okay. So, the grave course of events set in motion by Thanos that wiped out half the universe and fractured the Avengers' ranks compels the remaining Avengers to take one final stand in Marvel Studios' grand conclusion to 22 films, Avengers Endgame.
Hells yes. This movie wasted no time getting on to the
No, it
emotional
did not.
shit.
Like, holy shit.
So the first scene is Hawkeye with his family teaching his daughter how to shoot a bow.
Yep.
And that freaking just set the tone for the rest of the freaking movie. Oh. So what did you think of that?
It was just so good. Like, it just showed like how great of an actor Jeremy Renner is. Like, just, you know, seeing him interact with his kids, and especially the girl that played Lila. Did you know that was actually, I want to say, Joe Russo's daughter?
Was it?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, she did a really good job. And I loved how their whole exchange, because she's like, "Who puts mayonnaise on a hot dog?" And he's like, "Oh, it's just probably one of your brothers. Oh, two for us, mustard. Two mustard for us, please. Thanks, Mama," and stuff like that. But yeah, no, just like, I don't know. It was like depressing, and like you never actually like see any of his family like disappear. Like he'll turn.
You kind of see the dust on his daughter.
Yeah, but like you never actually like see like him actually like fully see someone disappear. You just see the dust.
Yeah. You kind of get the point of view from Hawkeye without it being like a direct, his direct vision.
Yeah. Just, oh my gosh. And I love that they still kept the ankle monitor on like Scott had, so I love that they still had that. But oh my gosh, that was just so, like, I think you and I like had a feeling that would have been the opening, like we had hoped it would.
I'm pretty sure that's what we guessed.
Yeah.
So I want to go back and listen to our
Yeah.
ideas for that, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure we called it.
It was more heart-wrenching than I thought.
Oh my gosh.
I could barely handle it.
Dude, it was rough.
Yeah. And then you just see the Marvel logo, and I'm just like, what the hell just happened?
Dude, I loved sitting next to you during that. Like, just that opening shot, because as soon as we saw the bow, you're just like, shit.
Yep.
Like, you didn't say it loud, you're just, like, super quiet, just, shit.
Yep.
It was great. Like, I was almost laughing, but the freaking emotion of it all got on me too, and I was like, oh damn. Oh, dude, and as someone who's married, just imagining what it would be like to just have your spouse or even your kid, like, I don't have kids, obviously.
You got a cat.
I have a cat. Oh my gosh, if my cat disappeared, I'd be like, yeah.
You're such a dick.
This is how it would go if everyone in my household disappeared. I would see the cat turn to dust. I'd be like, yeah, and then turn around, and be like, hey, Bri, and then I would just be emotionally destroyed.
Then you see, even though they're not living beings, you see your pop figures disappear, and you're just broken.
half of them disappear.
Yeah. You're just broken. You're broken.
Oh, that would break my soul. But yeah, like that, just the heaviness of that, just being able to relate to that would just be hard.
Yeah.
Just, oh. And I 100% understand why he went on the tirade that he went on.
Oh yeah, hands down. Like,
Yeah.
It's understandable why he became Ronin. Spoiler alert.
I think with like following his story a little bit, I understand why he went and started killing people. Like, I think like a lot of people were thinking like, hasn't the killing been enough? But he's just like, these people are still hurting people.
Yeah.
Like, why did my family have to leave when these assholes get to stay alive?
Like
I'm going to balance these scales.
Yeah, because one of his lines he says is, half of the world got Thanos, you get me.
Mm-hmm.
That was freaking awesome.
That was freaking sweet. And yeah, like I really felt for him in that. I was like, I don't blame you, dude. Like, I'd be doing the exact same thing if
he
I
had
had
like
the
some of the
skills.
most heart crushing like scenes.
He did.
And like, it just proves how great of an actor Jeremy Renner is, because I don't feel like he's had a chance to show any emotional. He really hasn't had any emotional scenes in the MCU, and in this movie, he had like off the bat one of the biggest ones, and then towards the middle, he had one that still freaking kills me every single time I watch it. But we'll talk about it later, because I don't want to start crying again.
Yeah.
I'm like dead serious. You might actually see me start crying talking about it,
Dude,
'cause it's
I
still
listened
hard.
to 2 different reviews, and they brought up 2 different scenes that like broke me emotionally, and I started tearing up hard. Like, one of them got me to start crying, and I messaged them, and I was just like, "Screw you guys!" And I'm like, "You're gonna bring up my feelings like that, freaking assholes."
But yeah, this opening had me in awe just as much as the opening of Infinity War had me in awe when Thanos kills literally all of the Asgardians.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this one actually even a little more, just because Hawkeye's my favorite superhero, and just seeing his like family disappear and just how he reacts and just how like broken up he is after it. Like, oh my gosh, I wanted to start crying. I'm surprised I didn't.
Yeah. Marvel does a really good job at having the opening scene kind of set the mood.
Yes, I completely agree.
Like you said with Infinity War, with Thanos opening up, it was like intense.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire movie was intense.
Mm-hmm.
The opening sequence for this was emotional.
Very.
And the rest of the movie was freaking emotional.
Yeah. It's an emotional roller coaster. That's what this movie is.
Yeah, it is. Like, it gives you a couple laughs. It gives you a lot of cries.
You're like cheering one moment and then you're sobbing into your sleeve the next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wasn't sobbing into my sleeve because I still wanted to watch. But it opens up with, after that scene, it opens up with Iron Man and Nebula on the ship.
On a rocket ship, right? Isn't it Rocket's ship?
It's technically Star-Lord's.
Oh. Let's just say it's Rocket's.
Well, no, like, okay, sure. So it opens up with them on the ship. It's dead in the water.
Yep.
And he's just kind of floating around in space, and he leaves a note or a message for Pepper saying that he's afraid. Like, that did a really good job at making the intensity of the scene.
It did, and I don't know if this was in the trailers, but was Tony that skinny in the trailers, or was that only in this movie?
I think it was only in this the movie.
Okay.
Because they made him real skinny.
Yeah, like, damn. Like, do you think those were effects, or do you think Downey actually lost all that weight?
I think it was effects.
Okay, all right.
It looked fake.
Really? It looked okay for. It looked
so when
pretty
it was like the
realistic.
full body, like in the face,
Yeah.
it looked really good.
Yeah.
The body, it looked edited.
Okay. Did it look better than how Captain America looked in the first Avenger?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So at least there's that.
Yeah.
They got that.
The effects were pretty solid, but we're not getting into that yet.
My bad.
So there were a lot of things there were quite a few plot conveniences with this one, because Captain Marvel just kind of found him in space.
Captain Marvel's like one of the biggest. What was the word you said again?
Plot conveniences.
Yeah, she's one of the. She
Or
might be
what's
the.
the term? Deus ex machina. Deus ex machina.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
But whatever the words you just said, she's that of the MCU.
she totally is.
Because like even towards the ending, you're just like, oh, okay. Well, I wonder what would have happened if she didn't show up.
I almost first time we watched it, when with what's it called, Sanctuary 2,
Yeah.
when she comes flying down, I half expected them to do a callback to Infinity War with Okoye being like, why was she up there all this time?
I wish they would have.
I know. I'd be like if I was Okoye, I'd be like, are you shitting me? Like, are these guys just keeping their big hitters in the back? Yeah, so I wish that there was more of a reason that Captain Marvel found Tony.
I do too. But I mean,
It was a cool scene.
it was really cool.
And then we get to see Cap and then their interaction, and I gotta say, like, listening to Iron Man's whole spiel about him wanting the suit of armor, like, who cares if it impeded our freedom? Like, I feel that a lot of that was just said out of anger. But that was kind of ballsy to say to Captain America.
Yeah.
Like, are you shitting me?
Yeah. Just how he's like, we're
Like, are we forgetting about Ultron?
Yeah. Like, we're the Avengers. We're not the pre-Avengers. I'm just like, okay. Just how, like, he has to point out to Captain Marvel, like, like, we need more of you. We need, young blood. Us old folks can't do anything anymore. And I'm just like, this really does not sound like Tony.
No, I feel like a lot of that was just
I mean,
him being crazy.
Yeah,
and
being
just
up in space for so long.
And just, like, a lot went on.
Yeah.
And I understand it a little bit.
Because, I mean, like, when we jump to them seeing each other again after, like, just skipping ahead a little bit, after, like, the 5-year time jump, even when they go visit Tony, he's just like, I always love to see you guys. It's always good to see you. I just wish it was for a different reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're back on good terms again. So,
Kinda. I think it's, like, dicey.
okay.
But, yeah, like, I was thinking that entire time, I'm just like, so, because you failed at making Ultron, or, like, Ultron was supposed to be the suit of armor around the world, so you're saying Ultron should have won?
Yeah. And, so, did I miss something, or can he actually just rip off his arc reactor?
Yeah!
Like,
What
it looked like
in
it was
the
just
hell?
It looked like that shit was just velcroed on.
It did. Like, I don't know what the purpose of the arc. So in Infinity War, when we see him with Pepper, she's like, "You wouldn't have done that because we've seen him without the arc reactor before."
Yeah, but there's
In
a
this
giant
one, it's
hole.
Yeah. So, like, I thought that they just removed the metal
Yeah,
from his chest, and then he just kind of kept the reactor.
yeah.
But apparently, they sewed that shit up. So
So it's kind of just for decoration now.
yeah, but, like, how? Okay, why does he have the arc reactor? Like, how can he put it against his skin? Like, I get it being kind of built into the shirt and whatever, but the skin? Kind of weird.
He super glued the shit out of that.
Yeah. And then, like, we also got to see Nebula handling an infection. So, apparently he can get, like, the scar gets infected.
Oh,
and needs
yeah.
to be fixed or whatever. So, brings up a lot of Iron Man questions.
Yeah.
But we get to... So after he throws his whole fit, I think after that it jumps to 5 years later, doesn't it?
No, it's when the remaining Avengers find
that's
out where
right.
Thanos is.
I'm dumb.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
So they find out where Thanos is because he's used the stones again. They find out he's out living on a farm because that's what he always told Nebula what was his dream after he had balanced the universe.
When he was working on her.
Yep.
That was a bummer.
Yeah,
Thing
I know,
to hear.
right?
I'm like, that's depressing.
Yeah. So they travel to what was the planet again?
I don't know the name of the planet.
Okay.
They
All right.
just called it the Garden,
Yeah.
I think.
So when they arrive there, Captain Marvel goes to see if he has like an army or anything down there. Nothing. It's just him. So basically, as Thanos is cooking his dinner, they freaking ambush his ass, and literally start questioning him about where the stones are because they're not in the gauntlet anymore. And when Rocket turns it over, and he said that.
Are you forgetting that Thor chopped his arm off?
Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot
That
about-
was insane.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of saw it coming.
I didn't.
Like, I kind of, like, when they were holding his arm out, and I'm
Yeah.
like, once Thor came in, I was like, okay, he's losing that arm.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. Captain Marvel chokeholds Thanos, and then War Machine comes in, and doesn't he hold his right hand down?
Yeah.
And then who holds his left?
Banner and the Hulkbuster.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. And then Thor comes in bashing, cuts off his left hand. Rocket turns over the hand with the gauntlet. The Infinity Stones aren't there anymore. Kind of like, what the hell? What happened to them? And then he says he basically turned them to.
So he reduced them to atoms.
Thank you.
That's what he used the stones to destroy the stones.
Yeah.
And there have been theories going around, like, what does that mean? And they're just, so you know how the Ancient One in New York described that the stones create what we view as the linear timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So taking one out kind of makes a separate timeline and
Yeah.
whatever.
So while one timeline can be fine, another one gets messed up.
Yeah, so what the Russos came out and said is that Thanos didn't say he destroyed the stones, he reduced them to atoms. So that they can still kind of be in play a little bit.
Okay.
Because obviously there's still a linear timeline
Yeah.
that can be affected and whatnot, and be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he reduces them to atoms. They can't do anything with the stones anymore. I was expecting him to be a little bit more messed up because he looked jacked from just destroying half the universe. But he was jacked from destroying the stones too.
Yeah.
I was expecting a little bit more.
I did too. I kind of want Funko to make a Funko Pop of how he looked after he destroyed the stones.
That'd be badass. There's so many figures that could come out of this.
Yeah.
I want Thor, or no, I want Fat Thor.
The dad bod Thor.
I want Dad Bod Thor. Dude, when I left the movie, I told Bria, like, I don't look as bad as Thor. But I told Brielle when we were leaving, I'm like, how do you like being married to someone that looks better than Thor?
Oh my gosh. That was pretty great.
Yeah, it made me feel good about myself. Which it shouldn't have, but it did. Yeah, so he destroyed the stones. And then the most shocking thing ever,
Yeah.
Thor freaking chops off his head. The theater was absolutely silent through
Yeah.
that. And I sure as hell was. I was like,
too.
"Woo!"
And Rocket's just like, what did you do? I went for the head. That I wanted to laugh a little bit, but I didn't.
I know, like, it's kind of funny,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a weird line.
It was.
I think under different circumstances, it would have been fun. I want to know why Rocket was freaking out, because everyone knows the world was better without Thanos.
It's true. But it was honestly like really sad just watching Nebula have to wipe off her own dad's blood off her face.
Yeah. I really like how they handle Thanos' death in front of Gamora and Nebula.
I agree.
I
It's
think
handled
with
very well.
Nebula being super robotic, but still having a little bit of a emotion, like a bit of a heart, it
Like
affected her, but not as much as it did Gamora.
It did, and I like that towards the before Thor chops off Thanos' head, how like he says I forget what he says like, you know, like I turned them into not dust, what is it again? Atoms?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't remember who calls him a liar. But Nebula's like, my father's many things, but a liar is not one of them.
I'm pretty sure it's Thor that calls him a liar.
I think so too.
But yeah, like you kind of feel for Nebula being like kind of not defending him, but just kind of confirming what they know.
Yeah.
Just being like, yeah, if he says that's what he did, that's probably what he did.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about her.
It does.
Because I think Gamora's done the same thing. Like she's never called him out on lying.
No.
But you kind of get that same thing with Thanos, what he says to Gamora in Infinity War, being like, I raised you to be many things, but I didn't raise you to be a liar. Maybe that's why you're so bad at it. And that was kind of a callback to Infinity War.
Yeah, it was.
But Chris Hemsworth did amazing with that scene, because I liked his face during that. It looked like he was going through. He wasn't looking at anyone. He wasn't even looking at Thanos. I don't think he was just kind of staring off into space.
Yeah,
and you could tell that he was dealing with a lot.
You got that right. It's like, damn.
Like there were so many just exemplary performances in this. What was your favorite part of the story?
It's like the most heart-wrenching scene for me, and it's just because of like how great the acting is, and just because I love these two characters so much, and having to see them choose who sadly has to sacrifice themselves. Like literally them fighting to the death of who's going over. Like really killed me. And just like I said, like the acting between these two is just incredible. I don't know, can I spoil this scene or should I wait?
Yeah, you can spoil this scene.
So
sorry for cutting you off.
You're good.
So after that, it kind of jumps to
it's 5 years later.
Ant-Man gets freed from a rat.
Yeah, that was kind of a convenient plot device.
It was totally a convenient plot device. Lazy writing.
That rat is the real hero of Endgame.
Dude, the rat's the reason Endgame happened.
Yeah.
Like, how would you have fixed that?
I honestly don't know how else you could have gotten someone to push the button to turn back on the quantum realm.
I would have had someone, like, break in.
Okay, that actually would have been smart. Yeah, because I mean, like, if you're looking at it from like a thief's perspective, that looks like a lot of expensive shit. So you're gonna want to like pry that shit off and try to resell it at like a pawn shop or something.
Yeah, and then all they'd have to do is kind of bust out, like, cause what did the rat do? Push the button?
Yeah, I think so.
So all you'd have to do is bust the window open, and then like have some glass or just something in the van fall and hit the button.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, obviously, that stuff would have started kicking up, and then the thieves could have been like, "Oh, let's go," or whatever.
That actually would have been a lot better.
Yeah. Other than a rat, even Brielle was just like, "That was dumb."
It's Splinter in disguise.
Ninja Turtles are canon.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so, Ant-Man gets freed. Oh, we have to talk about the scene with him and Cassie.
Oh, that...
When he...
Just
So
like,
he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. And just when he's walking down the street and this kid rides by with his bike and he's like, hey kid, what the hell happened? Like the kid just like gives him like kind of like a like I can't believe you're asking me that question. Like how do you like in a way it's like are you like trying to make a joke here or
That
something?
kid's face said a lot.
It did. I was
Like,
like
props
damn.
to him.
Yeah. Like damn. And then like you see him like wipe his nose a little bit and then he just keeps riding.
Yeah,
was
like,
like-
could you? I imagine like that scene like really happening. I thought watching it over like the second time that like that scene kind of stuck out to me because I was just like, really, like the kid's not going to say anything and then he just rides off. But after thinking about it, being like, okay, I'm in a world where half of the people just disappeared and some asshole's just like, what happened? Like, are you serious? Like, that doesn't even deserve a response. And then
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, now I can kind of see where the kid's coming from.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, if you've like missed, if you're like one of your loved ones or many of your loved ones have been gone for 5 years, and someone says that, I feel you're gonna take it mostly as a joke that they're trying, like, is dark humor, because you think that everyone knows what happened by now.
Yeah. And then he sees the
Yeah,
it's kind of a monument.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was going to say
monument.
shrine, but it's more of a monument.
of the ones that were
The
snapped
vanished.
away. Yeah, the vanished. Thank you.
Yeah.
And like you just see him like is it frantic?
Yeah.
Okay, just seeing him like trying to make sure that Cassie's name is not on one of those, and he ends up actually finding his own name.
Did you notice the funky order of the letters?
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, because on one side he was looking through the L's, jumped to the other side of a different one, and he saw the D's. And then he went back to the other side, and there were L's again. I'm like, that's kind of
Person
weird.
who did this does not know how to alphabetize.
Yeah, I want to know where they got all the names. Like,
I
if they
do-
just made random names up, or if they did like the people that worked on it.
I was just gonna actually say that would be so cool if they did.
Dude, that would be the highlight. Like, I would, even if it was like a fraction of a frame, I'd just be like, look, I'm in this movie.
Dude, I gotta find that out now. Someone needs to ask the Russos that because I want to know.
Yeah,
'Cause if
I
they
want to
did,
Google
that's
some of the
amazing.
names.
That's amazing if they did.
I think what we should do when the movie comes out on Blu-ray or digital, whichever one we get our hands on first, because I'm sure Bronson's going to buy it on digital.
But you gotta wait for me to get it, and then I give you the digital
I know.
copy.
So when you give me the digital, I put in my code
Yeah.
just so if Bronson decides to be an asshole and changes his Amazon password or whatever,
Oh, okay.
I still have those movies.
All right, respect.
Because I did that, or he bought Venom,
Yeah.
and then I put in the code for Venom, and now I have a copy on a different account than
Oh, okay.
the Amazon.
There you go. Cool.
So yeah. But yeah, when that scene comes up, we should Google some of the names.
We should. Let's do it.
But yeah, he ends up seeing his name, and then he goes to the house.
And he sees grown-up Cassie.
And this is the scene where I thought Paul Rudd knocked it out of the freaking park.
He really did. Like, holy shit, his acting was amazing in this.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it's like seeing how he was literally on the verge of tears, and just the one line where he's like, "You're so big now." I was like, "Oh my gosh,
Dude, because like, what else do you say?
yeah." I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah,
if my daughter was
his-
that much grown.
I think it took him a while to kind of realize what happened.
Yeah.
Because she came out, was just hysterical, and was just like looking at him, and then hugged him like really hard, and then you kind of see him like have that panic face, like, okay, who the hell is this, for a second, and then I think that was when you see the sadness, but also like the joy of seeing his daughter again, like all those emotions in his face, and you're just like, oh
Yeah. It was truly amazing. Like his acting.
yeah.
I don't think Paul Rudd's ever been bad in anything he's acted in. really.
Yeah, there's not been a single thing that he's been bad in.
Yeah. But then after that, Scott goes to the Avengers headquarters to where he tells Black Widow and Cap about the quantum realm and how there might be a way to reverse all of this. And I love the joke where he's like, I know, I'm probably sounding crazy right now. Black Widow's like, Scott, I get emails from a raccoon nowadays. Nothing sounds crazy anymore.
Yeah, I really liked that when he was talking about how time works in the quantum realm.
Yeah, like how
It-
5 years is like 5 minutes, or is it 5 hours?
Yeah. 5 years felt like 5 hours.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Which begs the question, how were Hope and Hank talking to him? If that's how time works.
That's a good point. You're thinking too far into this, Caleb.
I know. I have to I went and watched it again as a critic, and these all came up.
Oh.
I had no issues with it the first time. I'm just like, whatever goes. Second time, I'm like, okay, we need to think about this rationally.
I need to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp again to really think about that.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's a curious thing.
Um,
Like maybe he just got shot out in the 5 years in the future. Like maybe he got caught in one of those time things that he was supposed to
Yeah.
avoid, and then it just shot him out.
That's true, that
5
could have
years in the
happened.
future.
find
Or
out.
he's just not really good with time, and he's like, I've been in there for 5 hours. Been in there for not even close to that.
Find out in the Ant-Man and the Wasp 3. There we go.
Oh, I'm excited.
Then after that, the three of them go to Tony's new cabin that he has built. He's kind of built his own family where he has a kid. He has a daughter with Pepper.
Morgan Stark.
And it's so sweet. Like, oh, it kills me how cute she is. She's so adorable.
I think they went a little lax with the child actor.
Oh, you didn't like her?
She wasn't great.
I thought she did a really good job.
I think she did a good job. I don't think she was great. Like, I think
The whole, like...
Cassie in Ant-Man did a lot better than Morgan. But she was maybe a little older.
Yeah, I think Morgan's like a couple years younger than Cassie was in the first Ant-Man, so you gotta cut her a little slack.
Your acting shows.
You're a dick.
I know.
Then after that, they talk to Tony about the whole quantum realm thing. He basically says no, like, I'm not losing what I already have. And so, what was it? They go back to the Avengers headquarters, but Tony's like actually like thinking, like he's thinking about it. He's working on it. And he finally actually like is able to find a way to actually like properly execute time travel with the quantum realm. So he goes back to them, says, I have what it takes to where we can actually do it, but at literally all stakes, I have to keep what I already have. I want to bring everybody back, but I have to keep what I already have. And then after that, it's focused on getting, because they're trying to get the whole team together, so it's focused on he's after. So it's focused on getting Thor, and Banner and Rocket are sent after to get Thor. That's where they meet Dad Bod Thor, which was hilarious. Oh my gosh, I did not see that coming. That was pretty funny. And he's like built a whole new Asgard by the docks. We see Valkyrie as well, and then we get to see Korg playing Fortnite. And
That's going to be a really outdated joke.
Yeah,
once
it really
Fortnite
is.
dies.
I'm trying to think of a better game that they could have been playing. Like, no, that's too. Yeah, no, they couldn't put that in there because it's rated M.
What?
I was gonna say Grand Theft Auto, but they can't put that in there. Because, yeah, like the graphics improve, but Grand Theft Auto doesn't really get dated.
Yeah, they just kind of update Grand Theft Auto, so
Yeah.
but you kind of get the gist.
Yeah.
But Fortnite's eventually going to die.
Yeah.
I hope.
Praying.
I hate that game, and
I do too.
it's solely because they don't give me a tutorial.
They don't. They just throw your ass in there.
Yeah, it's like freaking Hunger Games. Good effing luck.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah.
But,
I
mean,
really like the dad bod Thor.
I do too. It's really fun. I especially love when Korg is like, "Hey Thor, that mean jerk's online again." He's like, "Oh, let me talk to him," and he's just like, "If I forget what he says,
Calls him a little weasel. Says
yeah.
he's gonna fly over to his mom's basement
and chop off his arms and legs," and he's like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and go cry to your little mommy." So he hands it back to Korg. He's like, "If he gives you any other problems, just let me know."
Still being a hero.
Yep.
You could really see that Thor had a major guilty conscience.
Yeah.
Like he was struggling. I think
He became an alcoholic.
yeah. Well, yeah. There's no ifs.
Yeah, I was like,
but
don't.
about
Yeah, I was
that.
like, don't deny that.
No,
he
so
was an alcoholic.
I think there was a lot of survivor's guilt in this movie.
There really was.
There was a lot, or especially with Thor being kind of blaming himself for everything because he had every opportunity to go for Thanos' head,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't.
Yeah.
And it just showed that Thor is flawed, and he's supposed to be, at least in his mind, the person that's not. He's supposed to be the god, the
Mhm.
person that doesn't make mistakes, but he did. And it just shows how human he is.
Yes, I completely agree.
And I think that's something that he was struggling with a lot throughout this movie.
Agreed. So after Rocket and Banner are able to get Thor, Natasha is sent to get Clint, and sees how he's become Ronin.
They never actually call him that, do they?
No, they don't. But I mean, they only called him Hawkeye once, and Natasha calls him that in the Avengers. But just even their exchange there, when he's like, "Don't," and she's like, "Don't what? Don't give me hope," like because she brings up like we might have a way to reverse all of this. Just and somehow she's well. I feel like she would have been able to get him to go. Otherwise, anyway, I don't know. Like
Kick his ass again.
yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, it's like you're coming with me, whether I have to bring you there.
Drag you by the bowstring.
Yeah, right. There you go. Well, he didn't have his bow. He only had a sword. Okay, that brings up a question. Does he have the retractable bow again now? Because it seemed like that.
Yes.
Okay.
I think he did.
Because like in the
Because he had a quiver.
yeah, he did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had his retractable bow.
Okay, because yeah, like there's like the one scene where he like gets up and then all of a sudden like he like brings it out and like pulls it out. I'm like, okay, where the hell was that? You did not have
magic.
You were holding a sword like 5 seconds ago. Where the hell did the bow come from?
What in the shit?
Yeah, so they get all of them back to Avengers headquarters. They work out how to time travel with the quantum realm.
Where all the stones are.
Yep. They have 3 teams. And away the movie goes, really.
Yeah. Yeah, we get the team that travels to the Battle of New York to collect
Was
the
time-
time, space, and
Okay, so it was the Tesseract, Doctor Strange's...
and the Mind Stone.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and then they sent Thor and Rocket to Asgard to retrieve the Reality Stone during the events of Thor: The Dark World.
Yep.
And then they sent
So they
War
sent-
Machine, Nebula, Hawkeye, and Black Widow to 2014 to space so they could retrieve the Soul and Power Stone.
Yep. And Nebula and War Machine are sent to get the Power Stone, while Hawkeye and Widow are sent to get the Soul Stone.
Yeah. Dude, their plan was damn near foolproof.
It was.
Until... And, dude, this is where I was like, oh, shit. Was when... Like, I thought they were just going to run into Nebula so Nebula gives War Machine this whole spiel saying, like, oh, we need to wait for Quill to come and do all this shit, like, just to come here so we can get his equipment to come and take the Power Stone.
Yeah.
And he's like, we need to be careful, or she says, we need to be careful because he's not the only one hunting the stone. And War Machine's like, oh, who else? And she's just like, well,
My sister,
Yeah.
my father, and me.
yeah. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I thought that they were just going to show up out of nowhere. Until we see 2014 Nebula project War Machine in front of 2014 Thanos, and I was like, oh, shit.
Dude, and especially like when they have the Power Stone and they get ready to go, and then Nebula starts glistening, I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. No, shit. Oh, shit.
This plan was foolproof.
It was the same thing with sorry, I just spit on your laptop. I apologize. It was the same thing with Iron Man, Cap, and Ant-Man when they go to achieve all their stones, and they have the Tesseract, but then the Hulk busts through the door and knocks it out of their hand, and Loki grabs it and then just vanishes, and he's like, oh shit, and Ant-Man's like, that wasn't supposed to happen, was it? Nope.
I loved that.
That was great.
So Hulk went to go retrieve the Time Stone from Doctor Strange, but it ended up that it was 5 years too soon.
Yeah, it was 5 years too early.
Yeah, and then we get a really good interaction with the Ancient One.
That was like when she like pounded the Hulk out of him, and he's like, well, and she's like, let's try that again, shall we?
Dude, like, I would have shriveled up. I'd be like, oh, okay.
It's like, yes, ma'am. That would have been my first reaction. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And then they have like this whole conversation, and Hulk eventually convinces her to give up the Time Stone. But with the Tesseract, they are all in Avengers Tower.
Yep.
And the Rumlow and a lot of the secret Hydra agents are getting ready to take the Mind Stone to Strucker.
Yep.
But Captain America intervenes with them in this friggin' elevator, and I'm pretty sure that's like all the guys from the original elevator scene in Winter Soldier.
I want to say it is too. It looked like it.
I was so freaking prepped for another like elevator fight scene.
I know, I was too.
So freaking prepped.
But then he just leans over to oh my gosh, what's his name?
Forget.
But he's like, no, it's okay. Hail Hydra. I'm like,
dude,
oh,
the theater lost their mind.
They did. But so like during the whole New York scene, my favorite joke of the whole movie is said, and when Tony's when they're like at the top of the tower, and they're like, you know, like arresting Loki and everything, and Tony's like, you know what, Cap, I forgot those that suit really did nothing for your ass. And Ant-Man just out of nowhere, he's like, don't listen to him, Cap. As far as I'm aware, that's America's ass.
Dude, Paul Rudd made this movie.
And then just to top it all off, after Steve beats
so he gets the mind, or he gets the scepter and starts walking, and then he runs into himself.
Yeah.
And I love his line where he's just, you gotta be shitting me.
And then he follows up with another great line. He's like, I can do this all day. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he comes face to face with himself, and then they get in a fight.
Yep.
2012 Captain America freaking kicked ass.
He did, like, damn. But yeah, no, so like after 2019 Cap, or I don't know, like how far
It's okay, so we have to assume with the events of Infinity War, that all took place in 2018.
Okay,
so 5 years in the future makes that 2023?
I think so. So 2023 Cap is able to kick 2012 Cap's ass. And as he's
by cheating.
Yeah. While he's down at the ground, he looks he looks at Cap.
He's like wiping himself off.
He's like, man, that really is America's ass. That might be my favorite MCU joke ever.
That
was
is
just
my
amazing.
favorite MCU joke.
That was just amazing. Oh, that was great.
But I prefer, like, out of everyone who said it, Ant-Man's was the best delivery.
Oh yeah, he did. Considering he was the one that
he
started
saluted,
saying it.
He's like, that's America's ass.
Oh, it's so good.
Were you? I don't know about you, but when I saw Captain America start leaning over to the Hydra agents, like when he started like leaning in real close, I was like, no, and then he said "Hail Hydra," and I'm like, yes. That scene was just epic.
That I did
I
not
was-
see that coming.
I know. I was that made up for not getting another elevator fight scene.
Oh, yeah, I did not see that coming at all. That was
Dude, no one
insane.
did.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, what?
It was funny. It's like when Cap like went on like Hydra side in the comics. Like a lot of people hated that, but in the just like that
So
little
they,
joke,
they hated that strictly because that's all they saw. They
Yeah.
thought that Captain America was always Hydra. But what really happened is the Red Skull found a way to manipulate what Steve Rogers perceived as his past. And instead of him being raised in where it was like the government and all this patriotism shit, he changed his past to be like he was raised by Hydra, and then that's why he became a Hydra agent.
Okay.
So it wasn't him actually being Hydra; it was Red Skull manipulating his past, or what he thought was his past. Like he kind of went into Steve Rogers' brain and changed what he thought was his past.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's what happened. Not he just suddenly Hydra.
Okay, all right, that makes more sense.
But I loved how they kind of pulled that in to this. But yeah, so they had the Mind Stone. They got the time, or Hulk got the Time Stone. But they missed out on the Tesseract, and I loved Ant-Man's little temper tantrum where he's like, "You never wanted to do a time heist." Like, you ruined it. But then Cap and Iron Man come up with an idea because they know that there's a place that they can get.
I think
more
it was
Pym
all
particles.
Tony's idea.
Yeah.
I don't think Cap had anything.
Okay, yeah. But he needed Cap's help.
Yeah.
So they leave Iron Man, and this
No,
is
they
like
leave
a really
Ant-Man.
good Ant-Man. Damn it! So many mans: Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Iron Man.
Reminds me of that joke in Infinity War when he's like, "Who's Scott? Ant-Man. There's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man."
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Tony gets an idea to go back into the 70s in like New Jersey, I
Yeah, I
think,
think that's where it was.
where it's the supposed birthplace of Captain America, and where they know that the Tesseract is being held,
Mm.
and there is also a place for them to get Pym particles. And this might be this scene and the scene with Thor when they were in the past, probably two of my favorite scenes from this.
I would have to agree.
Yeah. So Tony goes down, breaks out the Tesseract and everything. And
I'm still amazed he was able to do it so easily.
yeah.
Like, damn.
When he was like doing that weird torch thing,
Yeah.
the camera was kind of funky.
I didn't notice that.
Like you just noticed how it went dark, and then you could like see how he was going down.
No, I didn't notice that. Huh. I mean, I plan to see this movie at least 2 more times in theaters.
Yeah,
so.
pay attention to that when he's like torching the door.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he runs into his dad.
That's got to be the most awkward thing ever to do.
Yeah, no shit. But I feel like they have a really nice conversation.
They really do. I loved that. Like how Tony reassures him that, everything's going to be okay. Like, even though you're having a kid, I promise everything's going to be okay.
Mhm.
You're going to be a good dad.
Yeah. And then he kind of gets the goodbye that he never got.
Yeah.
And kind of gets that relationship with his dad that he felt he never had.
Yeah.
And
Gives him an awkward hug.
A really awkward. Then Cap gets to see Peggy again.
That was so
Heartbreaking.
Sweet. Yeah, it was sweet and heartbreaking at the same time.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna look at him.
I did too. Like
She was like, he was right there.
yeah, like the blinds weren't closed like half mast. Those bitches were wide open. So how the hell did she not see him?
Yeah, I was expecting them to do like she looked up after he was leaving.
Yeah, that would have made a lot of sense. But
Yeah, something like that. I mean, come on. But they leave, get the stones and everything. And then, like I said, my other favorite scene was with Thor. And you get to see how he's really struggling with everything with Rocket. And Rocket's just like, get your shit together, man. And he like runs off and goes and like tries to spy on his mom, but his mom catches him. And I love the whole you should or leave the sneaking around to your brother.
yeah,
And
I love the like how like he still keeps playing off that like no, I'm the real Thor. I'm the real Thor. She's like, I was raised by witches, boy. I already know that you're really not him.
And I love like it's kind of told like that scene was like super relatable. Like I haven't had a whole lot of these moments with my mom, but there's a couple where I've gone and been trying to talk to her about something, but not being upfront, and then she just kind of knows.
I've had the same with my mother.
Yeah, and then she's just like, "All right, you did this, didn't you?" And then I just like exactly what he did. Like, I'm totally from the future. But
Dude, a mother knows everything. It's scary.
Yeah, it's freaking insane.
How a mother knows everything.
And someone worded it like really good that it was just a moment. He was dealing with something where he needed his mom, and the only person in the world that could fix it was his mom. And I'm really glad that he got that moment.
I am too.
Like I feel he had like a really good send off with Odin.
Yep.
But he never got that send off with Frigga.
Yeah. Like when the scene starts and Rocket's like, I forget what he says, but he's like, oh, who's the lady with all the, like fancy getup? And he's like, that's my mother. And he's like, today's the day she dies. He's like, oh, that's today.
I think Rocket knew like, oh shit.
Yeah. I love how he like bursts through the door after like getting the stone. He's like, oh, you must be mom.
Yeah. He needed that.
He did.
And I think that helped his character a lot.
It was a great character moment. One of the best that Thor's had.
Yeah.
Throughout the MCU.
Definitely. There's definitely like that's something you're never going to get from like Superman or Batman.
Mm-mm.
Where like you're never going to get a moment where Batman's entire life is about needing his parents. But you're never going to get the moment from like Wonder Woman or Superman where they're just so human that they need something that everyone needs.
Yeah.
They just need their mom. They just need their dad or whatever. You never get that because everyone's parents are dead.
Yep.
And I feel like that's something that DC doesn't do very well with their characters that Marvel just excels at. But everyone's just like, oh, well, DC heroes are stronger.
Yeah,
Marvel characters are emotionally better.
Yeah. They're physically stronger, but emotionally, I'd have to give that to Marvel.
Yeah. Like, and you can just relate with them like a lot better.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree.
We already talked about, getting into the scene with, we talked about War Machine and Nebula having to deal with the past.
Yep. Yeah.
And then, so jumping to, like, there's a lot of, like, individual things that we can go on for, like, forever about. But, like, once we get past this one, I think it speeds up pretty quick.
Yeah. So this is my favorite scene of the movie. And just because, like I said, like the acting is just amazing by Jeremy Renner and Scarlett Johansson. And this is when, so they're traveling up, what's the planet that the Soul Stone is on?
Vormir.
So they travel up the hill, and when they start, I didn't catch it when they started traveling up the hill, but when I saw the Red Skull, I'm like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit. Sorry. almost ruined my mic. Yeah, when I saw the Red Skull, I'm like, oh shit, you gotta be kidding me. So, the Red Skull's like, oh, what was it? Natasha, daughter of Ivan, and then Clint, son of Edith, wasn't that?
Yeah.
I think so. And so, like he goes over the whole thing, like you have to trade a soul for a soul. And after the scene is over, Clint's just like, hey. And he's like, that guy's like crazy. Like, I did not expect that like jump cut or whatever. But then
I wish that they would have done or you heard him. He's like, maybe he's bullshitting us.
Yeah. She's like, but he knew my daddy's name. He's like, what is that supposed to mean? And she's like, well, I didn't. I still don't know if I believe him. He could be making up a name, but...
Yeah, like, Ivan's a real stereotypical Russian name.
Yeah.
There's so many, Russian folklore stories where it's...
Edith is not that well known, so,
yeah.
Edith Barton, that makes sense. But, so, basically, Natasha's like, I've been waiting 5 years to, basically have a chance to bring everybody back, and this is the only chance that we get. And Clint's like, no, this is the chance that I get to save my family, and you know what I've become, Natasha, after killing all these people. And she's like, well, you didn't judge me when you what I did in the past, so I'm not going to judge you right now. And he's just like, you're a pain in my ass. And he's like, okay, you win. And so, she's getting ready to jump, and he knocks her down. And he's just like, tell my family I love him. She tumbles over, knocks him down, shoots him with a widow sting, I think.
Yeah.
Widow sting. He's like, she's like, you tell him yourself. And she starts running, and then he pulls out. I would assume, he has a retractable bow now because he just all of a sudden pulls it out and shoots an explosive arrow at her. She flies over. He starts running off the cliff, jumps, and then she catches him with one of her grappling hooks, and basically is able to make it to where no matter what he does, he can't break it unless he lets go of her. And he's like, damn you. This is just where the waterworks started. Well, actually, it started before this, but this is when they really started. And she's just like, let me go. And he's like, no, please no. And she's like, it's okay. And he's like, just please. And she kicks off.
Freaking emotional, dude. We get to see someone forced off, and then we get to see someone jump.
Yep.
And that is just heartbreaking. After that scene, we get it jumps to them going back to the present, putting together the stones on the Infinity Gauntlet that Iron Man builds, which looks badass. I hope that they make a Funko figure for that Infinity Gauntlet.
I do too. Okay, will that be one of the Hulk moments you actually buy? Or
if they put, so I want just the you know how they did with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, so you just want that gauntlet?
Yeah. Well, I want one with Thor or with Hulk too.
Okay. They just better not make that movie moment exclusive.
Oh, I will throw a fit. Yeah. So he does the snap, and everyone comes back to life. The first interaction you get is with Hawkeye. His phone starts ringing, and it's Laura, and you're just like, no, my gosh. But during this, past Nebula disguises herself as future Nebula. And
yeah, dude, for a
back.
second, I actually forgot about all that. So
I know.
When she snuck off and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's past Nebula, shit.
And then Sanctuary 2 comes flying out of the building, and that was insane.
Dude, when that first crashed into the Avengers headquarters, I thought Ant-Man was dead.
I did too. I was like, no.
Shit.
I noticed the second time he was shrinking.
Oh, okay. That was my biggest question. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like 99% sure he started
Okay,
shrinking.
I'll have to look for that when I say the third time.
But yeah, then it's just Hailstorm, and then so it's just Hailstorm. Everyone's under the building,
Mm-hmm.
and then the main three, Iron Man, Cap, and Thor, go out and meet Thanos, and get into the most epic fight ever.
That was amazing.
Oh, we forgot to say, Thor actually stole Mjolnir from the
Oh,
past.
yeah.
And so he had both Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, and used them both in battle like a freaking boss. I liked his how the beard was when he was battle ready.
Yeah, it worked. It really did.
Yeah. I wasn't sure how Battle Thor was going to look, but Battle Thor looked pretty sick.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah, so they go out, fight Thanos, and
Thanos kind of kicks Thor and Iron Man's ass, and then kind of like Cap's left, and he like literally destroys his shield. And I don't know, like after that, like you see him like
you're missing a huge part.
What'd I miss?
No, you're missing that. So he's fighting Iron Man. Iron Man like builds like I don't even know what it would be called, like just a port for Thor to shoot the lightning in.
Yeah.
And uses that to charge
My bad.
the lightning or shoot a blast at Thanos. Thanos smashes Iron Man into a building and he gets knocked out. Thor starts going after him and battling him with both the hammers, and he knocks one of them away, and he calls Stormbreaker to him, but Thanos catches it and starts going to push it into Thor's chest. And then you see Mjolnir fly up and just like pound Thanos in the head, and then it comes flying back, and it goes past Thor,
yep,
and Captain America freaking catches Mjolnir like a boss.
I apologize that I went past that part. I apologize.
Holy shit, dude.
I love Thor's line.
Our
I
theater-
knew it.
Our theater
Yeah.
went nuts.
Just like clapping all around, like, oh.
Yeah. And then, yeah, like what you said, or Thor's just like, I knew it.
That was amazing.
Oh, it was great. Oh, like there was no better ending to that.
No, there wasn't. There really wasn't.
But yeah, he eventually Captain America starts getting his ass whooped. Thanos starts breaking the shield and kicks his ass 5 ways to Sunday, and then we start hearing on his communicator Sam calling him, saying like, Cap, you read me, Cap, and he's just like, what? And then you start seeing the little
He's like on
portal on,
Yeah, because he's like on your left.
and then he turns around, and then Black Panther, Okoye, and Shuri come walking out of the portal, and that scene gave me chills, dude.
Just seeing all those heroes return.
All the heroes return.
Yep.
The one that got the biggest reaction was Spider-Man.
Rightfully so. I think so. But then I think like the best part was when Cap shouted out Avengers Assemble. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Freaking
I
nerdgasm.
can't remember the last time I smiled that hard. It's been quite a while.
Yeah. So they continue the fight. Thanos starts losing and calls down like a hailstorm in the middle of his fight with freaking Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Who was just like, when she came in front of him, I was like, oh shit. And I
just love his reaction. He's like, I don't even know you.
Yeah, like,
Jesus,
you took everything from me, and he's like, who dis bitch? And she freaking like wrecks him,
Yeah.
and then that's when he calls down the hailstorm. And at that time, Spidey's trying to keep the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, they play a big game of keep away.
They do.
Like, Hawkeye gives it to Panther, Panther gives it to Spidey,
Yeah.
Spidey's just holding it.
I love
like a boss.
But I love like after like Hawkeye is able to keep it away from all those aliens or whatever. He's like resting there for a minute, and Nebula comes up. And he's like, "Oh, hey, I know you," and gives it to her. And then she's like, "Father, I've secret." He's like, "Oh shit, what?" His like face is like,
he's
"What?"
he's like resting, and then she's like, "Father," and he's like, "What?" Oh,
He was smart though when past Nebula has a gun pointed at him, and then the future Nebula and Gamora come in. As they're like talking, he like just runs off and is like just hiding in the corner. He made a smart call just so he doesn't have any chance of getting shot.
yeah, like Hawkeye is smart.
Yeah, yeah. No, Clint is very smart.
Trying to think of anything. Yeah, so then it's like that keep away game. And then after everyone's getting blasted, the Captain Marvel comes down,
Yep.
wrecks Sanctuary 2, and comes and collects the Infinity Gauntlet from from Spidey.
Yep.
And I love his little deal, his
Yeah.
whole like, I'm Peter Parker.
Hey, Peter Parker, you got something for me? Like, yeah, good luck getting it through all those guys. I found it funny that, so, like, it was awesome seeing the Black Order back, but I thought this was funny. Corvus Glaive went out in the exact same way he did in Infinity War. Because in
With the Koya.
yeah, Infinity War, he stabbed in the chest with his own spear by Vision, but in this one, he stabbed through the chest with a Koya spear. Like, he went out in the exact same way, dude. That sucks.
That like a bitch.
Yeah.
At least, Ebony Maw made it a little longer.
Yeah. So I don't know if I told you this, but someone made a funny joke. They should have had him say, "Sire, I don't feel so good."
Oh shit.
Ugh.
Yeah. So eventually it gets to a battle for the gauntlet between Iron Man and Thanos gets the Infinity Gauntlet and puts it on
Yep.
with all the stones on them. And I was just like, oh shit, are
Like
they
when he
going to
sa-
lose again?
Yeah, like when he says, "I am inevitable," I'm like, "Oh shit." Okay, where's part 3?
Dude, if they would have done that, ballsy.
Oh, that would have been very, very ballsy. Like
It's like, we lied. It's not Spider-Man Far From Home. It's Avengers 5.
yep.
Yeah, so he goes through so they're fighting, and Iron Man grabs the gauntlet, like, tries to get it from his hand. And I noticed that he had Iron Man was, like, keeping his hand behind the gauntlet where all the stones were.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, I noticed it because he was getting thrown around, but his hand was always in the back of the gauntlet.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then he gets thrown off, and then Thanos tries doing the snap again, realizes all the stones are gone, and then Iron Man's just like, oh, and does a snap that ends up wrecking his body.
Yeah. Thanos' whole army disappears. And then we sadly have to watch the death of Tony Stark.
Yep.
That was very hard to watch.
And then that
Especially when
pretty
Pepper-
much concludes the story.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
especially how when Pepper is like, "We're okay, well, you can rest now, Tony."
I was like, don't do that.
Even his funeral was heart wrenching. Just like seeing like almost every MCU character and like how like almost all of them he touched.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, like
Freaking heartbreaking. So that pretty much concludes the story. We
Yeah.
just went through the entire freaking movie. Watching it the second time, actually, even watching the first time, did not feel like 3 hours.
it did not. It really didn't. I thought I would be like in agonizing, like I have to pee. Didn't feel like it, at any times I've seen it.
Mm-hmm. And I wasn't even. So the first time, I was really hesitant about drinking because I didn't want to have that feeling.
Yeah.
So the second time I watched it, I was a little bit more lax about drinking.
Okay.
So I was drinking my lemonade, and I think I drank like over half of it through the movie and nothing at the end. I was like,
I wish
Cool.
I had your bladder.
well, I trained mine.
Well, I apparently I can't train mine.
So, so at the very, very end, or they send Cap in
Oh,
the
yeah.
past to go return all the stones.
Yep.
And he's supposed to come back, but doesn't.
He sticks around.
And yeah, and then Winter Soldier and Falcon are there with him, and then Bucky looks back and he's like, "Hey," and then they go and see Old Man Cap, and he hands off the shield to Falcon, and you see a wedding ring on Cap, and he's like, "Oh, you want to tell me about her?" And he's just like, "No, I don't think I will." And then the final scene of the movie is a little white or a little yellow house, picket fence, and Peggy and Captain America are dancing.
Yeah.
Best ending for Captain America ever.
I completely agree.
So, all right. I am 100% considering making this 2-part. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, let's just leave it off with after grading the story.
Okay.
Were there any issues with the story that you had?
Talking about running through the whole story, yeah, there is some problems, and it's mostly like the ones that you brought up. They're just like little nitpicks.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, for being like how big this movie was, and like so many directions the Russo brothers could have taken it, but I think they took it in the perfect direction. Like, I don't think they could have ended it better.
Neither do I.
Overall, I'm thinking a 95.
I'm thinking 95 as well. Very, very, very strongly
Yes.
sitting at 95. Like we said, not a perfect movie.
No, it's not. But what movie really is?
Yeah, there isn't. Yeah, a lot of obviously the reason we docked it was because it was the nitpicks with the time traveling.
Yeah.
And you're going to have that with most time traveling movies.
Yes, I agree. They even make like a joke about that in the movie with like Back to the Future, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Yeah, like they know that like in a way like it doesn't make a little bit of sense the way they're doing it, but they make fun of it, and I like that.
Yeah. Well, I say we leave it there for
Yeah.
now, and then
come back for part 2.
come back for part 2.
Damn, this is like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame all over.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Oh,
We planned that out, though, right? Wink, wink.
of course we did.
Yeah.
So, with that, I say we just leave it off with the normal deal.
Yeah.
If you liked this episode and want to hear more, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, or Spotify. You can also check out our content on YouTube. New videos will be heading your way soon. And be sure to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Allbros or on Twitter at The Allbros. And if you have something you want us to discuss, not in the next episode,
Yeah.
or a movie that you think we should see, be sure to email us at theallbroschannel@gmail.com, or you can fill out our form on our website, tinyurl.com/theallbros. And we hope to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
And until then, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
We'll catch you guys next week. Deuces.
Goodbye. That was kind of weak. That wasn't the best one.
No.
Well, I am sick, so does that give me a little bit of an excuse?
No.
Well, kiss my ass then.